Hello, welcome back, Josh, Sam, and anyone else who may be watching to Lviv and Let Die. Now, you'll be excited to know that I'm actually recording this video because I sat for an hour and a half and talked to myself, doing a extra good video for the Ukrainian Cup final last season, only to find out that I hadn't actually recorded any of it. The software wasn't even open on the laptop. So that was pretty poor. Let's go and find out what happened. Let's look at fixtures. Go back, and we got absolutely battered 4-0 by Chornomorets. We didn't play well at all. I don't think it was quite as one-sided as it felt. Yeah, I mean, it was just poor, really. Where they had 2 penalties. Nazarenko went off early on, which was not good either. Anyway, and then we wrapped up the season with a 2-1 win away at Sevastopol, which meant that the Premier League finished like this. Chornomorets went down on the last day of the season. There was a lot of chat about that in the Sevastopol game when I was recording, but obviously you won't ever get to hear that. But they went down by the skin of their teeth, winning the cup, and I assume qualifying for Europe, which means that today we are about to play in, for the first time ever, the Super Cup, the Ukrainian Super Cup. Has anyone of us ever played in it? No. It's been mostly shared between Shakhtar, Dinamo and Metalist over the years. It doesn't look like we can't have ever been in it because it's the first time we've won anything. The Odessa, who I don't like, have won it. That's a shame. Yeah, whatever. So this is the thing. We're going to be playing Chornomorets from the second division, remember, because they did get relegated. So you'd think that we should be doing okay. I haven't checked the squad registration rules for this competition, so it might be that we can't actually play very many of our new players. But with that said, let's have a look at who we have sold and not sold over this summer, because it does make for some interesting reading. So let's have a quick chickety look. Did anyone else leave before we finished? No? Good, right. So far we have made £9 million. Our board accepted a bid from Liverpool for Herbert Kwarteng. Liverpool have been struggling a lot recently, and so they've decided to sign their player from Lviv, sign him on a free, and then at 20 appearances later sell him for £2.9 million. That's no bad thing. I then had a player sold under me. It was this guy who I mentioned in the last video, I think, that lots of players, or rather lots of clubs, have been in for him. And so now we see that Sarajevo bought him off us for £2.5 million, a transfer that was accepted over my head. I didn't get the chance to say no, but there we go. It's an extra bit of money. We'll take that. We then sent out Gabor Logo on loan to Debrecen. He's been moaning a lot that he doesn't like Ukraine. He's been in our under-18 team for a while, so I thought, well, let him go back to Hungary, get some fun. He can enjoy the Hungarian lifestyle again, and we can make a little bit of money, and then hopefully he can also. I mean, Debrecen are a decent side. Maybe their youth facilities will help him progress. Another player who left us was Dicko, our top scorer from last season, 21 years of age. We made a nearly £2 million profit on him in one season. 12 goals he ended with, 14 in total after scoring twice in the cup. Unfortunately, he's gone straight back to Brazil. Again, I think that's another one that I didn't actually approve. It just went straight through the board. We're still sort of, our reputation's low enough that a £3 million bid seems excessively good from our board's point of view. The other player that went out on loan was Rafael Pavez, who's a young Chilean player who is now on loan at FC Odessa, who are newly promoted into the Premier League. I know I don't like them, but it's good to get him some first team experience, I think, rather than letting him rot in the reserves. Then we also lost Gomez, who went on a free, and Hussein Naj, who also went on a free. I would have liked to have kept him. I kept offering him new contracts, but he kept rejecting them, and he has now gone on to Zalgiris, who are in the Lithuanian A-League, I believe. Yes. Apparently that's more his style of play than staying in the Ukrainian Premier League, but whatever. He seems like the kind of player that he's young enough. I feel like in a year or so we might be able to get him back. But we'll see. How long's his contract? It's only 2 years or 3 years, so we might be able to sign him back at some point. Anyway, we've brought in some new players. I went to try and fix our striking options, so I signed Uros Handanovic, who is a very good player. 20 on finishing, which is insane. His composure is slightly low, but still, he's a good player. Came in on a free, and I like him. We also signed Andriy Borovkov, who has, I'm sure you will agree, a good name. He's in the under-21s, signed off Metalist. He's obviously worth a lot of money. He'll probably get some game time he'll be playing in all of our Ukrainian Cup games. If we have a Ukrainian limit on the squad this game, he'll probably play in this game. So we'll see. But a lot of money for a young player, but he's supposed to end up being absolutely excellent. I expect we'll get that money back. Another player that we brought in, Grigory Kiryakov, 18 years of age, came in, I think, on a little bit of money from Stal. The aim is to sort of progress him a little bit through and just have some decent youngish players in our under-21s. He's only 18. He'll be in the under-21s for a few years, and then hopefully he'll be able to either make us some money or make some first-team appearances. We'll see. Similar, Vitaly Voskoboynik, who's actually looking pretty decent, except for being quite short, has come in for £150,000 from Metallurg. Then we went for another defensive midfielder, Sergio Bernal. He's come in, 19 years of age, looks pretty decent. He'll develop nicely. I think he'll get some game time this season, I expect, and we'll probably make some money on him. We also signed Alexei Yushkov, who is in the under-21s, mainly for the fact that then we'll have some more Ukrainian players on the right wing, because we've got a lot of strikers and centre-backs, but not very many other positions, so I've brought him in to sort of bolster that youth team. Similarly, Joseph Hassanieh, he's another young player who's come in, and he's going to be in that youth team, hopefully one day become Ukrainian, and we can have him as a homegrown player. Then I went for a midfielder, Mahmoud. He came in on a free, I believe. Where is he? Mahmoud, yeah, came in on a free. Looks like he's going to be a decent player. Another player who's come in on a free, Valery Todorov. He is in the first team, although I'm not 100% sure why. I think he should really be in the under-21s, so we'll send him back there now to develop a little bit. But I signed him on a free, and he's already worth £1.3 million, so hopefully we can make some of that back. Then another player who you should be excited about, Daniel Rosic. Excellent striker, not very creative, but certainly functional. 20 years of age, signed him on a free from Partizan Belgrade, hoping that he can do the business for us this season. He looks quality. And then another couple of youth players, Ivan Yerus, he'll come on, but he's currently in the under-21s, and by come on I mean develop. Similarly, Andrei Diakov, or Jakov if you want to be lewd, 16 years of age, very tasty looking prospect. Hopefully he will come good. His finishing and composure are already pretty decent. Hopefully he will get to be as good as he looks like he possibly could do. He also looks a bit like a ghost. That's fun. And then we also signed Stefan Barshan from... who did we sign him from? From Tavria on a free transfer. He's an excellent centre-back, and he will be playing for us a lot this season, me suspect. With that in mind, we're probably going to sell Guillermo Pupo. We've got a £5 million bid in from some Romanian club, so it seems likely that he'll be going there. For now, he's still in the team. We're going to say Lviv versus Chornomorets. Let's go and see what the rules are, actually, quickly. Okay, hang on a second, go back. Overview, rules, match rules, no player restrictions. Okay, so we don't have to worry about playing... young players or anything specific. We don't have to worry about playing Ukrainian players necessarily, although I think we'll try and sort of spread the team out a little bit. I've kept the faith with Petr Kubistel, and in pre-season games he has been an absolute dynamo, so we're hoping that will continue on. Let's look at what we've got then. So we've got Nazarenko, Fabry, Pupo. I think we'll leave Pupo in the team, give him that one. Give him that final chance to earn some silverware. With the addition of Barsan, I'm also probably going to sell Ortega because I want Juan Carlos Gonzalez to play a little bit more for us, but we'll see how that goes. Tuamasi is going to be our starting left back now after Naj left. In midfield, we'll probably start with Figueroa. Okay, look. Big Seb. Going to have Big Seb on the bench there. I think we're going to have Didi in the middle, and we'll put. Who should we put in? Should we put? Well, let's keep the team from last year mostly the same. We'll put Uros Handanovic on the bench as an option there, but mostly we'll be playing with players from last season who were able to sort of get us to this position, I suppose. Boris Mladenovic. Okay, there we go. So this will probably be the only game of the video, although I don't know, that might not be true. Let's see how I feel after it. We might go straight into our first league game, which is, I mean, the Ukrainian league do nothing to support their best teams. Like we have this game, and then 3 days later we have to play in league. It's ridiculous. This is one of those classic games where I'm working. Michal Fabry has put the ball into our own net 1 minute in. Tells you all you need to know, really. For God's sake. For God's sake. So if you hear any bouncing noises, that's our internal tool bouncing and telling me things. Popo tries to make amends, but doesn't, for he be simply a centre-back. There's going to be lots of beeping now. Okay, now let's have oh, come on, people! Let's have a goal in. Let's have a goal in the goal, please. We don't even really look like we're making any chances. Okay, here we go. Labant now. Labant puts the ball in. Oh, we could have had a man there, surely. And it has gone in. Is that an own goal? No, Von der Putten has scored. Finally, we do manage to get a goal back. So yeah, you didn't see the last game, but we were absolutely dreadful against Chornomorets in the cup final. It was a bloody embarrassment. I was very angry. Luckily, it seems like we're going to make a little bit of a better fist of it than last time. We gave away a penalty, I think, in the first 10 or 15 minutes, and that just you could just tell that it was not going to be our day, pretty much. Speaking of not being our day, that is 2-1 immediately after our goal. It's a debut goal for the second division side's new midfielder. I assume that's where he plays. We can do better than this. I still feel that we're a bit better than them. I feel like, there's enough time that we can overpower them and just come back through this. Von der Putten hits against the back of the defender. Labant gets beaten to the ball there and has taken the player out. Labant gets... Tuamasi's been injured. God, there's a lot of chat going on suddenly. It's been absolutely silent for about 2 hours. Crossed in from Nazarenko. Fabry could have had the opportunity there to make amends, but he just doesn't. He did score that winning goal against Shakhtar, though, so we can't hate him too much. Nazarenko, bad move. Bad from Nazarenko. I just realised we're not playing an ideal central defensive midfielder. I think Gogoa should have been playing, but or Gogoa, or however we say it. But I didn't actually notice whether he was on international duty throughout most of our pre-season, so I'm wondering if... Well, then that's definitely the reason why he wasn't in the squad. I'm wondering whether he could have been selected and whether I've made a mistake. We'll find out. Tuamasi, Bernal, Labant puts it to Mladenovic. Mladenovic puts it through to Kubicel. Great finish, but he definitely was offside, yeah. Unfortunate, but probably fair. Doing. Maybe if I click on that chat, it'll stop giving me notifications. Kubicel was offside. We know. Come on. Right. One more chance before the half. Let's get a second goal, please. Kubicel puts it back to Tuamasi. Mladenovic. No, Tuamasi. Oh, lovely ball in again. We've had the ball in the net, but it was offside, and I think that was probably a good call as well. Not fun. Come on. All right. Where are we playing this game? All right, doesn't matter. Aggressive. Show me something else. Calm. You have the ability. Calm. I think this is going to work. You have the ability. Calm. You have the ability. Now, who's not playing well? Oh, that'll be everyone. Particularly Nazarenko's not looking good. Only Von der Putten isn't playing okay. Well, there's a few players in the middle. We've got a couple of players who are sort of playing. Kubitsel's not playing great, which shouldn't really be a surprise. Nazarenko puts the ball in. Fabry just gets the ball taken off of his head. Von der Putten keeps hold of the ball. We have still got it. 46 minutes, right at the beginning of the half. Okay, Tuamasi down to Labant, to Kubitzel, who puts the ball wide. He's looking at a substitution around the 55-minute mark, if not sooner, if he doesn't get on the score sheet soon. Pupo has been dominant in the air, apparently. Big ball up to Von der Putten. Doesn't win the ball in the air, that's no surprise. Bernal, so this Bernal lad, he's good. He wouldn't have been the player that I would have started if I had noticed, if I'd been paying attention. Kubitzel, go on, slip it. Give it a slip. It's a great little run around the box, but he should have slipped it in for Big Seb or right, Bernal. Simple ball. He does it finally. Von der Putten's running forward. He's got acres of space. Could give it through to Kubitzel. He does. Kubitzel scores. 52 minutes. That's exactly just before I was going to have him substituted. Monster. Right. Tava Kiladze, who's going to need a new name. Big Seb is going to come on to replace. We'll also bring on Didi for Saint Bernal. And Saint Bernal is an excellent, excellent nickname, by the way. And we're going to even do it right now. Where are you? Interaction, set nickname. Saint Bernal. And we're also going to go straight off with Uros Handanovic getting his debut 2-2. This is a much better performance from us, even though we've conceded 2 again, which is not what you want. But to be honest, for the first game of the season, first competitive game of the season anyway, it's not bad. And considering we only get about sort of 3 days off after last season, you've got to expect a little bit of tiredness in the players. Handanovic now gives it to Big Seb. Big Seb puts it across but misses. Unfortunate, but we are making chances again and we're looking a little bit more dangerous. Although we did have the ball in the net 3 times in the first half, just twice were offside. Kubitzel through to Handanovic. Handanovic is tackled in the middle. Kiselev is given a booking. He is. Yellow card. Didi to Labant. Kubitzel gets the ball. Labant's going to... Kubitzel wanted a penalty. But he didn't get one. Oh. And in fact, he's been booked for complaining so much. Or was it possibly for diving? Anyway, Big Seb now with the throw to Tuamasi. He's going to be offside from that. Stupid. So stupid, for God's sake. Ah, dear. Right, now Big Seb, chance to prove that he can do a throw-in properly. Handanovic heads over the bar. That's unfortunate. Could have done with the other fella, the Daniel Rajic, or whatever his name was, the new Serbian striker who's taller, I think. Pupo wins the ball in the air. He's such a good presence in the air. It's unbelievable. Lovely stuff. Nazarenko to Pupo again. Didi, Mladenovic out to Labant, who just needed to do the overlapping pass there. Went there eventually. Kubitzel's got the ball, puts it wide. Okay, now we have a corner later on. Maybe we made our changes too early. Oh, it was cleared off the line, but Pupo has been penalised. 75 minutes gone. Maybe we could have done with leaving an extra man. Something's happened to the bar down here. Mladenovic, big effort, went wide. Not sure what's going on down here. Error certainly happening. But Nazarenko's got the ball, gives it to Handanovic. Nazarenko to Didi. To Big Seb. Big Seb to Handanovic. Good effort, but it was blocked. Now they can break. Can they break? No. Perisic, Kiselev, Tsiskos. Fabry puts the ball into Handanovic. Mladenovic goes in again. Lots of itches in the team now. Someone needs to scratch that. It's a throw-in, and we're still not sure what's going on with the bar at the bottom. That's the biggest concern of the day. Kubitzel to Labant. Handanovic hits the crossbar. Unbelievable. Big Seb puts the ball back in, but Tuamasi has now collected the clearance. Didi to Labant. Tackle on the edge of the box there. They've got to be careful. Labant again. Tuamasi. Big ball in. Oh, Paulinho manages to get there. It was a bit close to the keeper, to be fair. Kubitzel looks like he's been injured. Tuamasi's been injured. Neither of them unable to continue, though. Kubica now released on the wide, puts it back in. He doesn't know. He's going to get sent off. Fuck's sake. What the hell did he do there? You absolute clown. All right, so Handanovic is going to have to lead the line on his own. He hasn't done well so far. Maybe putting him slightly more centrally will help, considering apparently it's going to have messed up. Oh, it's going to go straight to penalties. So he got sent off at like 2 minutes before the penalties. Great, nice. So goalkeeper is actually pretty good at penalties. Michał Fabry is pretty good. Guillermo Pupo is pretty good. It looks like... Oh, no, it's not. Hang on, we're the other way up. Uros Handanovic should be number 1. Big Seb, Boris Mladenovic, come in, son. We've got Didi as well, who's supposed to be pretty good. And then I want Big Seb. And then who would be 5th on that list? Michał Fabry or Pupo? Pupo, Fabry. Mamut's not actually playing. Okay, let's go then. Penalties. And the bar doesn't seem to have recovered itself. So yes, confirm changes. Oh, and the bar has recovered. And now the penalty is going to work second time round. That's what we like to see. Good couple of errors. Perisic looks calm and collected as he steps up. Good finish, calmly placed into the bottom corner. Handanovic now only been on the field about sort of 40 minutes, maybe not even that, 35 minutes. He's going to make his chance to score his first goal for the club. Come on, Handanovic. Hit the crossbar right at the end of normal time. Smashes it down the middle into the goalkeeper's face. One can only assume. And it goes in 1-1. Valev looks calm and collected again. Why do they all look so calm and collected? God damn it. Oh, he skied it. He has skied it. And now Mladenovic can put us up in the penalty shootout. He runs up to hit the penalty. Eventually. And he has absolutely brilliant penalty. Lovely stuff. Vashakidze is coming up with the penalty. And what's he going to do with it? He's put it straight down the middle. Nicely done, nicely done. Didi now, the mum from the Rugrats, I think, steps up to take the kick. Let's have a nice... Oh, useless. Well, cartoon characters should never be allowed to take penalties. I've often said that. Hosha. Oh, he smashed it over as well. This is a terrible penalty shootout. Big Seb now. He's scored a couple of penalties for us in real games, like proper competitive penalties. So, oh yeah, there we go. No chance of him missing. Big Seb is a player. Now we've got David Lucas, the former Swindon Town goalkeeper. At the age of about 75, is going to take a penalty. And it was saved. Lviv have won the Ukrainian Super Cup 3-2 on penalties after a 2-2 draw with a second division side. Both goals of ours. They only had one shot on target. That is so poor. But anyway, we did it. We got back into it. We dominated them with only 2 shots on target ourselves. Is not impressive by any means. But we got there in the end. That's the main thing. Miguel van der Putten gets himself the Man of the Match award. We win on penalties. That's the first time we've ever won this trophy. Past winners. That's right, Lviv. Lowest attendance. That was the lowest attendance ever for this. Where was it played? In Bukovina. Okay, so it's not even been played in a proper good ground. It's been played in just like a Division 1 team's ground, but whatever. Continues the Lviv tradition of winning the second cup ever in its history. Lviv have won the Super Cup. Kubica has been banned for... was it only one game? Well, we'll issue him a warning. Tell him to stop being a prat. We won the Super Cup finally. Saint Bernard makes his FC Lviv debut. Did okay. Kubica accepts his warning. That's fair enough. Now, the one thing I want to do before we do anything else is just check what that's done for me. Nothing. In fact, oh no, because this is the top end, right? So you start at this end and you move along. So I think I'm moving slowly further along towards icon status. We're in the Champions League this year, waiting for that money to come through. Right, so do we think we should play the Arsenal game? I think we should play the Arsenal game. Let's do that. They're top of the table at the moment, but obviously no one's played any games yet. They are planning to come 12th, or expected to come 12th anyway. 12th is, of course, just below mid-table. We're expected to come about 6th, which seems a bit harsh. I'm hoping to... top hope would be retain. I think more likely we should be challenging for the top 3, considering quite a few changes have gone through the squad and what have you. So I think it just makes sense to sort of not aim things too high. We'll eventually get to the point where we win everything. When we win everything with clear distance between ourselves and everyone else every single year, like we were doing with Śląsk Wrocław. But for now, I think that's not a bad place to start. It's a classic phrase. Boston Link have been cut by the new Stalybridge board. I'm apparently going after the Boca left back Emiliano. Oh, he's actually quite good. Santagatti. All right. Well, let's get a report on him. Let's go back, and then what else is going on here? None of these players. Yeah, so Gogua was actually injured. So there we go. Leria, I keep trying to sign a couple of our players, and they bid tiny amounts of money, which really annoys me. Santa Coloma from Andorra has gone through against the Luxembourg team. That's what we all were expecting. Renato has got a new... well, fair enough. Carpate have signed this guy, centre-back, for 1.3 million... Oh, no, 180k. What did I just see then? Or was it him? Oh, no, okay. Well, I just read the number 1.3 million from out of my arse. Anyway, Carpati not doing so great recently. This fella here, though, looks pretty good. 350k, though. Better make that much of a bid. They've set an asking price 450k. So let's go in 100,000 less. None of them are interesting. All too old. These two might be interesting. Jorge Murillo, he's not interesting. And Carlos Gutierrez, not interesting. Let's go up here. Sorry to be quiet then. I was just checking my work to make sure everything's going fine, and let me tell you it is. Westersupermare signing a number of players this summer. They did really badly last year, so I'm hoping that doesn't continue. I do like them. I'm also keeping an eye on whenever Chippenham Town come out of the bottom division, so that we can maybe take them over at some point in the future. That would be quite fun. Try and take the Bluebirds up to the Premier League. We've been known about this. Need a lot of tired players. Well, it's fine. I think our squad is a strong one, but clearly Peter has enormous... Well, yes, I mean, he scored 4 goals for the club, so yeah, of course. I'd love to make him part of the team. I'm not commenting on the title because I never do, because then some players complain. I don't know why it showed the Obalon badge as if they were in some way likely to be challenging for the title. Newly promoted Obalon, the team that everyone is expecting to win the league. We're actually, our reputation has changed so much that we're actually more likely to win the league, or at least considered more likely to win the league, than Karpaty themselves, who are a well-established top-end Premier League team. Which is pretty good, shows our progression. The one thing I'm a little bit disappointed about is that we're not going to get the opportunity to repeat the Śląsk performance in the Europa League, although actually that's not true, because we could drop into the Europa League. In fact, it's probably quite likely that obviously we can't really talk about it until we know who is in our group for the Champions League, but it seems highly unlikely that for the first couple of years we're going to get out of the actual Champions League group. More likely that we'll be challenging with whoever else is the worst team in our group for the Europa League qualification after Christmas, but that's not a bad thing, because we all saw how great that can be with Śląsk. £5 million. Go on, off you go, son. Liga 1, the Romanian First Division. Gazmetan, they're actually did they win their first ever title? That's very strange. As in, what I mean by that's very strange is it's very rare that new teams win things like that. They've never won it before, but they've won it now. That's really strange. That's not the way this Football Manager game works. We don't even have the league loaded. Usually when you don't have the league loaded, it's just the same 2 teams win it every year, or maybe 3 if they have. $420k, eh? What about if we said... Oh, now other teams are getting involved, so we need to be quick about this. Let's say that. Gazmetan has signed Guillermo Pupo for £5 million off of us. He's not actually that defensively that good, but he was an excellent rock for us. He was a great big old rock, is what he was. And now he's gone off to Romania. Bless him and bless his little heart. I'm sure he'll do fine there. There's probably a lower standard of league, so he'll probably absolutely tear it up. I think also Besiktas came in for him, but there was only £3 million pounds bid rather than the 5 million. Some of that money is coming over a period of time, but that's good. It sort of helps drip feed the club with some money rather than giving it all to me now for it to sort of disappear down the black hole of the fact that we don't have enough people coming to the games to keep our money in the positives. Bukovina, that's the team that we went to their ground to play the Super Cup final. They're in the first division. Let's play this game. Let's play this game. Let's play this game against them. Arsenal. Right. So he's actually, of course, he's suspended. Yeah. So there we go. We've lost our normal centre back. So let's go with Stefan Barsan gets in on the game, and we'll put in Juric because Twumasi seems to be injured all the time. We can now put Gogwa back in the team, but we won't because he's a little bit tired. I think instead of St. Bernal, we'll play Golovchenko because he's a little... or that could also work. And I did not like Tavat Kiladze. I did not like his input into the last game, so we're taking him out. And we'll put our friend Sergio Florian back in the side. And I think that works for me. Otherwise, Mahmout is a good player. Did Mladenovic play well enough to be... Let's go with Mahmout in the midfield there. We'll give Daniel Rosic his number 11 shirt. Submit the teams. And let's go. Attacking. This is a game that we really should be winning. So I'm going to say, show me what you can do. I'm going to say calmly, there's a lot more to come from them. It's the first game of the season, so obviously there is a lot more to come from them. Oh, early chance. Not sure why we're not playing in red. Don't know why they're playing in blue. We need to play in our white and blue kit, but whatever. Good tackle there. Now we have a chance. Handanovic. Oh, that's 2 50-50s that we've missed out on there. Djordjevic out to Boyo. All right there, Boyo. Oh, he's got a name. They've got a number of players with names. Why do you all have strange names? Loads of Lithuanians and Georgians in their team, which means lots of Z's and Askas. Oh, God. I really thought we were going to give away some kind of dangerous free kick or penalty then, but unfortunately, no. But fortunately, no. Can we please try and just put the ball in the net? Oh, for God's sake, we hit the bar. Nazarenko now gets the ball, puts it into Mahmout. Mahmout, is he going to give it a slip? He's not, and now they're chasing us down. That looks like it's out of the box. Von der Putten, never going to win that in the air because he doesn't win anything in the air. Big Seb out to Didi. Terrible ball, attempting to find Labant, but it has gone back to their goalkeeper, who we've now won it in midfield from. Didi again with the ball. Mahmout, great big ball out to Seb. Seb puts the ball in. Von der Putten scores. 6 minutes in, Arsenal Kiev are 1-0 down to FC Lviv. Right. Labant out to Handanovic. Sorry, I've just got an actual bit of work to do. Ball crossed, bad effort. 10 minutes gone, we're still winning. And now we see a lot of dominance from this team. If this is going to go in any way like it did last season, what a lot of these games were we'd score one or maybe two, and then they would sort of challenge us quite heavily, and we would sort of just hang on for a while, and that's surely a fucking red card and a foul, but no, apparently not. And then maybe at the end we'd nick a third or a second, depending on whether we'd got the first or the second earlier on. And I would never really feel totally convinced that we were in charge. There was only 2 or 3 games where we were utterly dominant. This is very much more like how I saw it last season. We were sort of battling for everything. Yevgeny Kurchagin has given away a foul, held back Handanovic. It's been a pretty bitty first half. Lots of fouls and 50-50s going in. Lots of interceptions and tackles. Omolchenko there puts the ball out to him. Boyo. Boyo at the back post heads over, but it was poor effort. We were definitely helped out by the fact that there's not... Oh, that was interesting. Hit the post on the way back into the pitch. We're definitely helped out by a lot of the teams in this league have quite poor finishers. Nazarenko out to Tomasi, to Didi. Nice effort. Because the thing is, like they do, other teams, at least whilst we've not quite built a utterly dominant team yet, and so for now there's quite a lot of teams who get chances against us. Handanovic, but we're helped by the fact that they do all have donkeys up front. There will obviously be the odd game where one player scores a couple of stunners. That happened, for example, in the last league game we had against Chornomorets in the last season. We went 2-0 down, I think, or we might have done exactly what we did in that Super Cup game where we went 1 down, equalise, 1 down, equalise. But the player that scored twice was absolute dog pops. Like, I have no idea how he scored these two. Like, really, like, he ghosted in for one excellent movement, and one was like a very nice long range effort. He has absolutely no right to score those two. So it does occasionally happen, but usually the numbers do sort of fall in the right place. Handanovic, Didi, out to Labant, big ball. Oh, big Seb, if only you'd sort of read that properly. Yeah, absolutely. Just... Sorry, I'm being asked questions about various management-y types. Oh, they've had 2 chances in the first 2 minutes of this half. That's not usual. Usually it's us. But there you see again a good example of the poor finishing from the middle-of-the-road teams in this league. Mazalauskas, our left winger. Oh, God's sake. Clear it, please. And there we go. Eventually, the pressure will tell, and that's what happens. Didi's not played well. Let's bring on Golovchenko. And I don't like... What don't I like? Is Handanovic... This is probably one of those things where Handanovic is like only right-footed or something. No, but he is right-footed. Let's try doing this, and let's also give Mladenovic a game. See what we can do here. Because, I mean, really speaking, we should be okay here. Oh, Van der Putten scores. I wasn't paying attention, but I didn't even see what happened there. Was that a big clearance from our keeper? But immediately after, I mean, a good YouTuber would edit this bit out. Immediately after the team concedes against Kiev, something has happened. We'll see now. Yeah, big ball back, tackled off of him by Handanovic, and Van der Putten is there to tuck away the chance. Nicely done. Let's hope that we can use this as an opportunity to be a bit more convincing, because it's not been great so far. Nakonachinye. Oh, my goodness me. Bahan clears nicely. Barsan, sorry. Um, 61 minutes gone, 65 minutes gone. Do we have one more change? I believe we do. Shekiladze, Djordjevic, they are like quite dominant in midfield. I think this is it's a formation thing. They have just players who are in the right positions to pick the ball up when it's loose. Oh, Van der Putten, if you just chase that down, let's say that word enough times. If you just put, oh my God, if you just chased it down, you might have got there, mate. Van der Putten has done well, but let's bring on Daniel Rosic. Oh no, hang on, Big Seb's looking pretty knackered. Sergio Florian, come on for Big Seb. Give him a bit of a break. See, if we'd not been so hasty, we could have farmed Mammoet out to the left and given Labant a bit of a break as well. Oh my goodness me. They are absolutely attempting to throw this game away. Korchagin must be sent off for that. I mean, it did look a little bit like there was some cover, but is he not even getting... He did at least get booked. Nazarenko now with the chance to put a third in. Puts it straight over the bar, though. That's disappointing. But really, I mean, some of their players have been very poor. Omelchenko, big ball up. Take it straight off him in the midfield. Handanovic now. Oh, we get it again. Mladenovic. Great ball. Oh, it's a stunner. Floated to the back post. I mean, it's one of those weird things where it obviously was a shot, but it looked a bit like it was crossed. It didn't put any power on it, just sort of dinked it. It was a bit Cantona-esque, where he just sort of dinks it from outside the box against Palace. Lovely stuff. And that's a delight. And we are 3-1 up. And, you know, you could argue... I expect statistically we probably are deserving it. Yeah, we do. It's just we've not... Oh, I mean, come on, lads. Oh, my God. Come on. There were 3 challenges there where we could have... I was going to say, yeah, statistically, actually, we have been better than them. It doesn't really feel like we have been better than them, but we just, you know, statistically we have. Golovchenko out to Nazarenko now. Florian... putting the ball out. We're second in the table straight away. That's good. Dnipro getting absolutely battered by Shakhtar. That's good because Dnipro are a good side, or at least they were last season. Omelchenko now. Oh, the ball's been won again by us in midfield. That's something we haven't done well, in the last couple of years. We don't really seem to win it in the air in midfield. It's usually Pupo and Fabri at the back who've been doing most of the winning of the ball in the air. Nazarenko, though. Florian gives it out to Mladenovic, who gives it to Golovchenko, who gives it to Mladenovic again. Went for another effort, but this time it wasn't going anywhere near like it was going in. Luckily it was blocked, spares his blushes. Palinkas, they have a lot of Lithuanian players. Manga is, I assume, Japanese. Oh my God, that's another dreadful ball. Kiev, what are you doing to yourselves here? Handanovic now puts the ball in the middle. He does, but nobody attacks it. That's because that's really where he would have been. God, I mean, they are poor. Okay, he has managed to sort of muscle his way back onto the ball there, but dear me. Fabri, I mean, I think he got the ball there. It looked a lot like he did. Mazilauskas, I can say it now that I've had a few hours to read it. Manga now clears, doesn't know. Oh, Djordjevic hits the ball over the bar. We have done remarkably well to come back, considering they really came out the blocks fast in the second half. They had 2 or 3 chances before they got their goal, and that was in the... on Omelchenko drops the ball again. They've been really poor at the back, have Kiev. And we just let that go. Nice bit of time wasting there from Nazarenko. That's what I like to see. Labant now to Van der Putten. Van der Putten puts the ball in. He doesn't know. Loses the ball out again. And this surely is the last thing now to Umasi. Puts it to Labant. Puts the ball to the back post, but there was nobody there. They can break maybe, but the whistle's probably going to go. There it is. Van der Putten has run them ragged, and I think that's fair to say. Calm, a good win. There was some positives out there for sure. Not everybody did cover themselves in glory. The players who started the game in midfield, for example, didn't do brilliantly, but we've done okay there. Krivbas have also won big against Metalist, so these big teams are already taking points off each other, which is, I think, kind of how we ended up winning the league last year, because I think all of our losses came to big teams except for a shock loss to one of the teams near the bottom. So yeah, not a bad first video really. A bit of silverware in the old cabinet and a first win in the league, which is good. It's going to be quite a while, I think, until we actually get to play in the group stages of the Cup. It's yes. was a special goal. He had a good, solid thing. He was good. Never stopped looking for ways to improve the team. Leave press conference. So let's just look at the fixtures because we're going to be. We haven't even had the Ukrainian Cup draw yet. So the Ukrainian Cup will be about here, and I wouldn't think that we'll have a Champions League game until here probably. So we'll probably be well deep into our league by then. Actually, we can just check, can't we? Because we can go to Shakhtar, see their fixtures from last year. This sort of interests me how long we have. So last year they went into the Champions League. Yeah, in the middle of September they get to the Champions League. So we've got a big old chunk of games to play before then. Had they played us at that point? No, we actually played them just before their game with Stoya. All right, so I think we'll be not coming to you until the beginning of the Champions League. I don't think there's any point in playing the Cup. The Ukrainian Cup is actually quite a lot later than I thought. All right, so we'll play most of these games, our equivalent of them, and then we'll be back. So probably around about the 13th of, so probably around about there is where we will next see each other. So we'll know how the league is going for us by that point. There's a couple of big games for us to play. Dnipro, Karpaty, Krivbas, all big teams that we want to beat. The rest of them are teams that we should beat. But it's important that we get good results against those three teams at least. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a good one. Bye.